From her earliest years, Madison keenly felt the disparity in every gesture and gift her family gave to her and her younger sister, Sophia. When Madison turned 7, Sophia enjoyed an extravagant princess-themed party complete with a giant inflatable castle, a magician performing live tricks, and a multi-tiered cake adorned with elaborate candles. Madison, on the other hand, got store-bought cupcakes hastily purchased from the corner grocery and shared them with her close friends in the backyard. Whenever Madison asked her mother about it, her mother would gently smile and say, "You're not into pink and princesses. You're our practical girl." That comment seemed to cement Madison's role as the independent daughter, at the same time making her feel distinct from Sophia, the fragile, doted-upon youngest child. At 10, Sophia received a brand new shiny bicycle with a flower basket on the front, whereas Madison had to scavenge for recyclables and do odd jobs to afford a second-hand bike she found at a garage sale for $20. When Madison expressed any dismay, her father, Mr. Bennett, would say affectionately, "Sophia is still in kindergarten, she needs to be safe, and we want her to feel confident going to school." Madison would nod, promising herself she would never feel ashamed for taking care of her own needs. By 8th grade, when Madison won the Creative Innovation Award at the science fair, her parents couldn't attend because they had to take Sophia to a dental appointment. The mixed wave of pride and disappointment that washed over Madison was hard to articulate. She had achieved remarkable success, yet was relegated behind her sister's needs. Madison became accustomed to throwing her own small celebrations with friends, designing invitations herself, and buying sweets on her own. From that point on, she learned to take pride in herself and etched into memory that for her parents, her responsibilities would never be their top priority. Throughout her upbringing, Madison deeply perceived that love and attention in her family were not distributed equally. The expensive gifts and grand parties for Sophia highlighted that her sister was always the center of care. Meanwhile, Madison, cast as the self-reliant, resilient child, handled almost everything herself. Those experiences forged Madison's determination and resilience, teaching her that her worth did not lie in what others bestowed upon her, but in the efforts she had invested since childhood. Madison grew up with the nickname the practical daughter in the Davis family, a role assigned by her parents from a young age to explain why she didn't need anything glamorous. When her sister Olivia dreamt of a sparkling princess dress, Madison received the advice, "You don't need frills. Focus on what matters." Mrs. Davis often repeated that Madison doesn't like pink or has no interest in dolls, as if those preferences weren't fitting for the poised, strong daughter they envisioned. That distinction conditioned Madison to choose practical gifts, textbooks, science kits, or end-of-season discounted toiletries items that help you grow rather than make you happy. In middle school, while friends proudly flaunted designer handbags and expensive sneakers, Madison calmly carried her worn backpack containing only clean notebooks and pens. She opted for discounted school uniforms and took pride in saving up enough for a used tablet, a tool for her studies. Whenever Madison shared her dream of earning a scholarship abroad, her mother replied, "You're already outstanding. There's no need to showcase yourself, just keep working hard." Madison calculated that instead of an international exchange trip, she would invest in an online programming course, an undeniably practical choice in her parents' eyes. The practical daughter role extended to allowance. While Olivia received a generous monthly stipend for outings with friends, Madison meticulously tracked every expense, wondering whether to splurge on a new bubble tea or save for reference books. When Madison proposed joining the journalism club, her father agreed but quickly added, "That club is free. Don't waste money on extra writing workshops." Madison accepted this, though she secretly longed for the creative experiences provided by those paid programs. Over time, Madison realized that the fruits of practicality included not only useful choices, but also a solid foundation for the future. She honed her financial management skills, set clear priorities, and cherished the value of hard work. Yet the memories of being labeled not meant for glory lingered, pushing her to prove her worth through achievements rather than praise. Madison's practical daughter role while cultivating her independence also became a barrier she needed to overcome so she could allow herself to dream bigger. Madison has always been a standout student driven by her exceptional academic record and relentless determination. Throughout her 4 years at Thompson High School, she maintained a perfect 4.0 GPA, actively participated in the academic decathlon team, and won first place in the district mathematics competition in her junior year. While many of her classmates spent afternoons on social media or chatting after class, Madison immersed herself in her science fair project, stayed up late, solving complex problems, and taught herself programming through online courses. This passion for learning earned her the Innovative Science Award and an invitation to present at the state's Young Researchers Conference. Beyond academics, Madison worked weekends at her uncle and aunt's cafe, saving a significant portion of her earnings to cover textbooks and school supplies. She applied early decision to Evergreen University with an application that included a glowing recommendation from her math teacher, Dr. Nguyen, who attested not only to her mastery of theory, but also to her ability to inspire peers in their study group. Thanks to her 4.0 GPA, a perfect SAT score, and heartfelt endorsements, Madison was awarded a full scholarship covering both tuition and dormitory fees. Madison's efforts extended far beyond the classroom. She proactively volunteered as a research assistant for Dr. Nguyen in the Environmental Science Lab, where she contributed to data analysis on ecological experiments. This role taught her advanced research methodologies, data interpretation, and academic writing skills. During the final summer before senior year, Madison interned at the city's STEM Center, collaborating on a medical robotics project and earning recognition for designing an affordable sensor module intended for patients in remote regions. At graduation, Madison was selected to deliver the valedictory address to the senior class. In her speech, she emphasized, "No achievement comes without effort. Every honor certificate, every scholarship is the culmination of hundreds of hours of study and hard work." Principal Thompson beamed with pride as she presented Madison with the honorary diploma, an accolade not only for her academic excellence, but also for her compassion. Madison had organized a book drive among her classmates to support a struggling rural school, even as she maintained her stellar grades. Through her academic prowess and unwavering effort, Madison unlocked countless opportunities, a full-ride scholarship at Evergreen University, international internship prospects, and the respect of teachers and peers alike. She demonstrated that strong willpower and self-discipline are the true keys to success regardless of one's circumstances. As Madison prepared to enter her final high school exams, the Evans family unveiled a decision that stunned her. They had allocated their entire college fund to her younger sister Lily, ensuring Lily would receive full financial support, tuition, dorm fees, even living expenses at Northfield University. At the October dinner, Mr. Evans beamed as he announced, "We've secured all the funding for Lily, from tuition to room and board." Madison looked up, fighting to keep her composure as she asked, "What about me?" Mrs. Evans gently resumed serving the meal and replied, "With your academic record and scholarship applications, we trust you can manage on your own." Those words cut Madison to the core. She had worked dozens of hours each week, scrimping every dollar to buy textbooks and prepare college applications. She spent months crafting scholarship essays, perfecting her SAT scores, and researching every opportunity for financial aid. Yet her family made no commitment to support her. Every resource went to Lily, the shy, tearful sister who once sobbed in the bathtub over a difficult math test. Mr. Evans had arranged private tutoring sessions at great expense for Lily, while Madison, already excelling in math, never once was asked if she needed extra lessons. Each time her mother remarked, "You're confident enough you don't need more support." Madison bit her lip, swallowing her disappointment. Prioritizing Lily's financial needs wasn't just about money, it was a declaration of parental preference. Madison, the resilient, self-reliant daughter since childhood, seemed destined only for what she could earn herself: scholarships, part-time jobs, and late nights studying. Lily, whose performance had been only average, received every advantage without counting the cost. In the days following the announcement, Madison found herself reeling. She urgently researched student loan programs, navigated complex borrowing procedures, and doubled her hours at the local cafe to cover dorm fees. This inequity drove her determination to prove that her hard work and talent deserved a full scholarship, not as a gift from her family, but as recognition of her own unrelenting effort. On her first day stepping onto the university campus, Madison felt adrift amidst a sea of bustling students. While most freshmen were accompanied by parents dropping them off at their dorm rooms, she only had 2 modest suitcases and a printed bus route map. Other students eagerly waved goodbye to their families before hauling luggage into their rooms. Madison hastily set down her belongings and gave a quick nod to the bus driver, "Thank you," before entering the 6-square-meter dorm. The tiny room lacked any family mementos, just a single bed, a foldable desk, and an empty bookshelf. Madison organized her blankets and pillows, then personally hung a small framed photo of her family on the wall. She unpacked the thin, discounted blanket she had bought online, neatly spread it out, and pinned up her weekly class schedule at the corner of the desk. In that schedule, every square block detailed class times, work shifts, and study group meetings, all meticulously planned by Madison to confidently manage her college life. With no parents to guide her, she handled everything on her own, registering for the dorm Wi-Fi, locating the student services office, and learning the layout of the dining hall, library, and computer lab. During orientation week, when other students were led on campus tours by their families, Madison only had time to snap a few quick selfies at the main gate before quietly filtering through the club fare. She independently set up all her online accounts, completed her library registration, emailed her academic advisor, and scheduled her first advising meeting. Every administrative task was handled solo. On a few occasions, she felt uneasy when she couldn't find a seminar room or forgot her student ID number, but each time she reminded herself, "I have to manage this myself." That first evening in the dorm, Madison cooked instant noodles in her tiny mini cooker, eating hurriedly as she consulted Google Maps for the next day's bus routes. When her roommate sent greeting messages inviting her to hang out, she nodded politely but hesitated. "I need to get up early to organize my notes." The excuse both masked her nervousness and reinforced her independent spirit. Without her family's supportive embrace, Madison entered this new chapter determined to build her own foundation. She would be not only a student, but the sole architect of her college life. Madison felt lonely during her first days of college until she met Emma and Lucas during the library orientation session. Emma was a second-year student from a farming family working part-time at a bookstore to cover tuition. Lucas was a fellow freshman like Madison, but faced similar circumstances working evening shifts at a cafe near campus. On the first day they sat together at a computer station searching for research materials, the three quickly opened up about financial struggles, work schedules, and the stress of balancing study with labor. Their friendship began when Emma shared how she had to schedule classes around her bookstore shifts, while Lucas revealed the late nights he spent finishing course projects before rushing to serve customers. Madison did not hesitate to relate her own story of buying textbooks with personal savings, figuring out how to configure online learning software alone, and catching the last night bus after work. The empathy between them forged a strong bond. They truly understood the pressures Madison had concealed for months. Following that meeting, the trio decided to form the Independent Freshman Support Group, agreeing to meet every Tuesday and Thursday morning to review coursework together, exchange scholarship application tips, and share information about funding opportunities. Emma guided Madison in writing effective scholarship essays, while Madison helped Lucas navigate the government aid registration process. Lucas advised both on scheduling sufficient rest to prevent burnout. Each session was filled with laughter, yet beneath the surface lay deep mutual understanding born from shared challenges. As midterms approached, Madison worried she wouldn't have enough study time due to her packed work schedule. Emma and Lucas not only shared concise study guides, but also supported Madison by picking up some of her evening shifts during exam week, enabling her to stick to a disciplined review plan. This assistance lightened Madison's burden and allowed her to focus fully on her exams. Their friendship reached a new level when Emma organized a small celebration for Madison after she scored an A+ on her math test, and Lucas helped proofread her scholarship essay. The empathetic relationship between Madison, Emma, and Lucas did more than help them overcome temporary hardships. It built a critical foundation for their future. They created a community where every effort was valued, every personal story was heard, and every success was celebrated together. Madison realized that sometimes family support isn't the only source of strength. A few empathetic friends sharing the same journey can be enough to empower her to continue pursuing her college dreams. Throughout her first semester at Northfield University, Madison made a strong impression on her chemistry professor, Dr. Harrison, when she submitted an experimental report on organic reaction mechanisms that combined meticulous analysis with practical application of theory. Dr. Harrison invited Madison to stay after class and praised her. "You not only grasp the fundamental principles of these reactions, but also propose novel questions to expand the experiment." That encouragement ignited in Madison the confidence that her silent efforts had been recognized. A few days later, Dr. Harrison emailed to invite Madison to join the Green Catalysis Research Project in the Environmental Studies Lab, an opportunity typically reserved for juniors and seniors. Madison could hardly contain her excitement upon receiving the invitation, though she also anticipated the challenges ahead. This part-time position required skills in sample preparation, chromatographic analysis, and mass spectrometry data collection. After the initial meeting with Dr. Harrison and the research team, Madison was tasked with optimizing reaction conditions by designing a new series of experiments to reduce the consumption of harmful solvents. She spent countless hours in the lab patiently testing numerous variables, meticulously documenting results, and rapidly mastering the use of advanced instrumentation. Beyond hands-on techniques, Madison received Dr. Harrison's guidance on reading and synthesizing international scientific literature, drafting research reports to journal standards, and presenting findings before departmental committees. Dr. Harrison's trust enabled Madison to develop both her technical expertise and soft skills. She learned to collaborate effectively, articulate ideas, clearly handle peer feedback, and build a network of academic contacts. Thanks to this invaluable opportunity, Madison not only solidified her theoretical foundation, but also broadened her perspective on an academic career. The experience as a research assistant sharpened her capacity for self-directed learning and her ability to adapt quickly to the demanding scientific environment. Moreover, Dr. Harrison's dedicated mentorship transformed Madison from a high-achieving student on paper into a confident, burgeoning researcher. She realized that success is not measured solely by grades, but by creativity, scientific curiosity, and an unwavering commitment to continuous learning qualities that will propel her further on her intellectual journey. At the graduation ceremony of Northfield University, Madison never expected to become the center of attention. Amidst the formal procession with marching bands and the opening address, the Board of Trustees suddenly announced the university's highest honor, the Millennium Science Award reserved for the student with outstanding achievements and unwavering perseverance. When the name Madison Nguyen echoed through the auditorium, she rose in stunned disbelief and walked slowly across the stage to thunderous applause from thousands of spectators. Madison stood quietly as she received the engraved crystal plaque bearing her name and the official certificate, overwhelmed by a surge of pride and emotion. She recalled countless late nights perfecting her projects, the weekends spent working at the cafe without complaint, and the moments of self-doubt she had endured. Approaching the podium, Madison paused for a breath before speaking into the microphone. Amid cheers from friends and the astonished looks of her family, she said, "I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the faculty, especially Dr. Harrison and President Carter, for believing in me and giving me this opportunity. This award is not only a personal honor, but a reminder that every challenge is a stepping stone toward success." Her words brought the hall to a reverent silence, followed by an outpouring of applause that seemed to last forever. The Millennium Science Award doesn't merely celebrate numbers, grades, or GPAs. It acknowledges steadfast spirit, creativity, and bravery in the face of adversity. Many students wipe tears from their eyes seeing themselves in Madison's story, a young woman who transformed loneliness and financial burdens into powerful motivation. After the ceremony at the celebration reception in the Kemp Hall, Madison was showered with congratulations from professors and distinguished alumni. Dr. Harrison embraced her, whispering, "You deserve every good thing." Her friends Emma Lucas and the other members of the independent freshman support group excitedly shared in her joy. "We made magic happen together." Receiving the university's highest award not only opened new doors in Madison's academic career, but also stood as a testament to her arduous journey. It affirmed that silent dedication, self-reliance, and perseverance never go unnoticed. From that day forward, Madison realized she was no longer alone. Every step she takes is supported by those who silently stand behind her, and this award would mark the beginning of even more brilliant chapters in her life. After commencement, Madison quickly realized that the Millennium Science Award was just the beginning of widespread recognition from the academic community. Just days later, she received an email inviting her to present her green catalysis research at the National Young Scientists Conference in Riverdale. The letter, signed by Professor Olivia Chen, chair of the conference chemistry committee, stated, "We are deeply impressed by your work and believe that your presentation will inspire the next generation of researchers." But the accolades didn't stop there. The Journal of Sustainable Chemistry accepted Madison's paper titled "Reducing Solvent Consumption Through Reusable Catalysts." Her article became the issue's feature, complete with an illustrative diagram of her optimized experimental design. Later that month, the State Department of Science and Technology invited Madison to join the advisory board on green catalysis applications, where she would represent students and emerging researchers. Within the university's intranet, Madison was also named among the 50 promising scientists under 25 by the Alumni Association, accompanied by her portrait prominently displayed in the chemistry department corridor. Former peers Emma and Lucas shared in her success enthusiastically. Emma published a blog post emphasizing, "Madison has made us proud," while Lucas updated his LinkedIn profile praising her admirable blend of knowledge and perseverance. With each commendation, Madison gained further opportunities for international collaboration. Dr. Aaron Patel from the Cambridge Environmental Institute reached out to propose a 6-month student exchange research project, and Professor Mei Lin of Tokyo Institute of Technology invited Madison to co-author a book chapter on sustainable catalysis. These connections not only expanded her professional network, but also affirmed that Madison was becoming a leading voice for the ambitious young scientist generation. During each symposium, as Madison presented her findings and fielded questions from leading experts, she felt the validation of countless late-night lab sessions and the encouraging smiles of her colleagues. Every meeting, every word of encouragement from Dr. Harrison, Professor Chen, or Dr. Patel became a symbol of recognition for Madison's journey. She understood that beyond scholarships and credits, the most significant measure of her success was that the academic community had seen and valued her dedication. This recognition would drive Madison to reach even greater heights, bringing green research closer to real-world application. After the award reception in Kemp Hall, Madison slipped away to take a few solitary photos by the reflecting pool where the soft glow of lampposts danced on the water. As she walked along the edge, a hurried voice called out, "Madison, wait up." Turning around, she found Mr. and Mrs. Lee and her sister Lily rushing toward her, their faces damp with nervous sweat. Their eyes held a mix of embarrassment and worry, as though they didn't know how to begin. Madison stopped and folded her arms. Her tone measured, "I thought you'd already left." Mrs. Lee bowed her head and replied, voice trembling, "We know we arrived late, but when we heard your name announced, we couldn't walk away." Mr. Lee stammered, "We're sorry for not being there for you as we promised." Lily reached out and squeezed Madison's hand, her eyes shining with tears. "You truly deserved this, and I've never been prouder of you." In that moment, Madison felt the genuine hesitation in their apology and the sincerity in their gaze. She remembered the lonely evenings of study, the countless times she had called her mother for financial help, only to hear, "You've already got scholarships." Now they were trying to piece together a trust shattered over years. Madison drew in a deep breath, lifted her chin, and looked directly into her parents' eyes. "I've made peace with my journey. I don't want a hollow, 'I'm sorry.' I need lasting actions. If you truly want to make amends, let's rebuild trust together, not just today, but every day." Mrs. Lee's eyes glistened as she stepped forward and hugged Madison tightly. "You're right. I will do my best every day to listen to and support you." Mr. Lee nodded earnestly. "I want to understand your needs and you can share with me anytime." Lily placed a hand on Madison's shoulder. "You're not alone anymore. We'll face this together." Madison offered a gentle smile, feeling warmth spread through her chest, yet she understood the road ahead would not be easy. She patted her sister and parents on the back. "We start from here, one step at a time." Beneath the shimmering poolside lights, Madison sensed a new chapter unfolding, a chapter of forgiveness, understanding, and the hope of a truly reunited family. After the emotional confrontation, Madison decided to establish clear boundaries and new conditions in her relationship with the Lee family. The next evening, she invited her parents and sister Lily to sit together at the dinner table. Calm and respectful, Madison began, "I appreciate your apology, but for us to move forward, we need concrete commitments." Mr. and Mrs. Lee nodded silently, while Lily looked at her sister with trust. First, Madison requested that her family respect her personal space. "I need time and privacy when I come home. Please refrain from checking my class schedule or calling incessantly. If I want to share something, I will reach out to you. Next, she proposed holding a monthly family meeting to discuss any changes in her life, preventing unexpected visits when she's busy or exhausted. On the financial front, Madison candidly asked her parents to support only a portion of her essential expenses, such as research materials or specialized textbooks, rather than covering everything. She agreed to provide detailed lists and receipts to ensure transparency and avoid misunderstandings. I don't want your help to make me feel indebted, Madison explained, but rather to share the responsibility together. Regarding emotional support, Madison emphasized the importance of continual acknowledgement. A sincere text message or words of encouragement when I reach a milestone will make me feel valued. I don't need grand gestures, just your genuine presence at important moments. Mrs. Lee wiped away her tears and nodded, saying, I understand. I will find ways to show my support. Finally, Madison affirmed she would give her family the chance to demonstrate their commitment. If you and Lily honor these conditions over the next 3 months, I will open up more and share more of my life and feelings. Mr. Lee smiled with hope and shook Madison's hand. You can count on us. We will do this. Lily exclaimed, I promise to stand by you and support whatever you need. With a clear agreement and mutual respect for boundaries, Madison felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She realized that family love requires space to grow, and that only through shared effort can their relationship truly strengthen. Madison began her healing journey by seeking specialized family dynamics therapy. She contacted Dr. Mai, an expert in parent-child relational frameworks, and scheduled weekly 90-minute sessions. In each session, Madison openly shared her childhood wounds, the sense of abandonment, frustration when her efforts went unrecognized, and the simmering anger she felt whenever her sister Lily received preferential treatment. Dr. Mai guided her through deep breathing exercises, emotional journaling, and analysis of old communication patterns. Madison learned to identify and name her feelings instead of suppressing them, calling out sadness, resentment, or hurt whenever they arose. Alongside therapy, Madison committed to daily self-care practices, taking walks in the park, reading personal development books, and practicing mindfulness meditation. She also formed a small support group with her friends, Emma and Lucas Companions, from her self-reliant college days. They met weekly to share personal progress exchange, stress management techniques, and encourage each other to stay committed to their healing. This community eased Madison's loneliness and bolstered her resolve. Another pivotal step in her recovery was becoming the first mentor for the Madison Lee Perseverance Scholarship. Meeting with the newly awarded student, Madison listened to her story, provided guidance on scholarship applications, and shared the message that inner strength can overcome adversity. Through this mentoring role, Madison realized that her own pain was not just a scar, but a source of power fueling hope in others. Sharing her experiences reinforced her belief that suffering can transform into meaningful lessons. Finally, Madison set long-term goals for nurturing a healthy, pressure-free relationship with the Lee family. She maintained the boundaries she had established, monitored each commitment from her parents and Lily, and continued therapy for at least another 6 months. With each passing day, Madison noticed inner shifts. She reacted less negativity to her family's presence, appreciated small gestures of support, and gradually released the burden of her past. Her healing journey was not about returning to a starting point, but moving forward on a path she had designed for herself, a journey of inner freedom, restoration, and unprecedented strength. Madison formally stepped into the role of guide when the University Council established the Madison Lee Perseverance Scholarship and invited her to mentor the first cohort of self-reliant scholarship recipients. During the freshman orientation ceremony in early September, Madison met a second-year student named Hannah, newly awarded the scholarship for her outstanding academic performance, despite working 2 part-time shifts. In their initial meeting, Madison listened to Hannah describe the pressure of balancing coursework with her cafe job, then shared strategies for creating an effective schedule, leveraging the library and lab after class, so no learning opportunities were lost. Next, Madison introduced Hannah to the Independent Mentor Group, co-founded by herself, Emma, and Lucas. They organized a small monthly workshop inviting Hannah and fellow recipients like Anna, Ben, and Cheryl. At the first workshop, Madison guided them on drafting clear research plans, setting short and long-term goals, and using bullet journaling techniques to track both studies and work commitments. Emma contributed a template for an impressive CV, while Lucas offered insights into successful laboratory internship interviews. But Madison's support extended beyond workshops. She launched Madison's Guide, an online channel hosted on the university platform, where she uploaded videos on crafting compelling scholarship applications, locating funding sources, and self-care practices for stress management. Under each post, Hannah and other mentees engaged through comments asking how to balance study and work schedules or seeking advice when feeling overwhelmed. Madison responded thoughtfully to every query, encouraging them to share weekly progress updates. In the spring semester, Madison brought Hannah to meet Dr. Mai, the psychological therapy specialist, and together they explored anxiety management techniques ahead of exams. Madison also connected Hannah with Dr. Harrison for hands-on involvement in an environmental research project, providing practical experience and new accolades. Thanks to Madison's mentorship, Hannah completed a concise scientific paper published in the Student Journal and secured an additional summer scholarship. By the end of the term, Hannah hosted a presentation of her findings at the department's internal symposium. Madison watched with pride as her mentee spoke confidently, earning the respect of faculty and peers. Hannah's growth showcased not only academic prowess, but also the spirit of self-reliance, courage to dream, and the ability to make those dreams reality. Madison realized that guiding others wasn't merely about sharing expertise, but igniting belief in young minds. Whenever a new student received the scholarship, Madison welcomed them with open arms, ready to listen, advise, and transform what can be a solitary university journey into one marked by companionship, where every effort is both recognized and shared. Less than 6 months after graduation, Madison officially began her first full-time role at the State Department of Education, where she had interned. Initially, she joined as a policy research analyst with a starting salary sufficient to support urban living. Madison rented a small studio apartment near the commuter rail station, spending about 40% of her income on rent and utilities. The remainder she carefully budgeted for groceries, transportation, and savings. In her new position, Madison was responsible for analyzing education policy, compiling periodic reports, and participating in meetings with experts, Sarah Nguyen, the data analysis manager, and James Lee, the policy advisor. Sarah coached Madison on using professional data visualization tools, while James invited her to present proposals at an internal workshop. Their trust in her abilities enabled Madison to quickly establish herself and network with leading professionals. The stable income allowed Madison to invest in herself. She enrolled in an online project management course, purchased specialized textbooks, and attended 2 weekend academic conferences. As a result, Madison was promoted to senior analyst after just 4 months, receiving a 20% salary increase and full sponsorship for further training. She also used her graduation bonus to buy an electric bike, saving on commute costs while improving her fitness. Beyond her primary role, Madison collaborated on the Education for the Future initiative, led by Professor Harrison, overseeing editorial content and conducting student surveys. The project received funding from the Education Development Fund, enabling Madison to expand her connections with NGOs and other universities. She also joined the company's mentorship program, helping two new colleagues, Lynn and Min, integrate smoothly into the workplace. Thanks to her steady earnings and growth opportunities, Madison now feels secure about her future. She no longer tracks every cent, but has built an emergency fund equivalent to 3 months' salary. Madison has set a goal to purchase a small suburban home within 5 years and to pursue a master's in education. Balancing work, continued education, and personal life has allowed her to establish a solid financial foundation. Madison understands that true success lies not only in degrees or titles, but in achieving sustainable career growth and financial stability. Within 6 months of Madison setting clear boundaries and new conditions, her relationship with the Lee family noticeably improved. At first, Mrs. Lee began texting more regularly, not just on holidays or birthdays, but also checking in on Madison's studies, work, and well-being. One evening, Madison received a message saying, "Have you had dinner yet?" "How was your study group today?" A simple question that made her feel genuinely cared for. Mr. Lee also changed his surprise visit habit. Instead of dropping by unannounced, while Madison was busy, he scheduled a weekend coffee date so they could talk without rushing. Those meetings allowed Madison to share her workplace successes and future plans, while Mr. Lee listened attentively and offered thoughtful feedback, rather than hasty advice. Madison's younger sister Lily, seeing her sister invite the family to the monthly family roundtable, became more confident in expressing her own views. At a recent dinner, Lily admitted, "Sis, I feel lucky to have you as a role model for independence and resilience." Madison thanked her and replied, "You inspire me to rediscover warmth and affection in our family." In that moment, the sisters felt a genuine connection deeper than any conversation they'd had before. Alongside improved communication, small material support also followed suit. Mrs. Lee gifted Madison a set of specialized textbooks for her master's program, and Mr. Lee offered to cover travel costs when Madison needed to attend in-state conferences. Each contribution came with a gentle reminder, "We trust you have a solid plan." Yet, Madison maintained her boundaries to ensure the relationship remained healthy. She accepted help only when necessary and always provided advance notice. The Lee family gradually understood that respecting Madison's autonomy and privacy was the most sustainable way to show love. Today, the dynamic between Madison and the Lee family is no longer tense or tentative. It is characterized by sincerity and openness. They are jointly planning a summer vacation, discussing how to celebrate Madison's graduation, and preparing well wishes for a newborn niece. From thoughtful text messages to formal family dinners, Madison realizes that trust and love can be rekindled when both sides make a concerted effort and cherish each other.